Hello, everybody, and welcome yourselves to the first ever ECC podcast here. Some weekly thing we're going to be bringing in for the ECC, talking about all the stuff that's been happening across league play, all right in one place. And joining me for the first iteration of it will be KursedWolf and Dennis. How are you both today, guys?
I'm doing good, man. I'm quite excited. This is something me and you have been trying to get going for a while. Never
Oh
really
yeah.
had the right tools to do it, and we've just been given a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I'm doing great as well. Really excited for this podcast, the first ever podcast, as you already said, and it's gonna be a great one for the upcoming. What is it? 20 minutes? Are we gonna do it?
I'll,
However long.
we'll do it for as long
But
as we can.
yeah, but it's gonna be a great one, great podcast, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So sit tight.
Yeah.
Make sure you're obviously playing some Rocket League whilst you listen to it. Actually, no, don't play Rocket League. Close the game down. Open up this Discord. Scroll down. You're gonna see the links. We're gonna plug some ECC. Shameless plugs.
Yeah, plugs from ECC everywhere. So you got to follow it on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube, follow the Twitch, join the Discord, match your Reno page, everything.
Donate. But yeah.
Donate, yeah.
But yeah,
Right,
in all,
for
in
epic
all,
emote.
in all seriousness, all of those would be much appreciated if you donate. Of course, you don't have to. Same with subscribing, but just trying to join the ECC. It's a great place. So many people have so much fun, and overall, it's just a great environment.
Yeah, definitely. But I think we'll get this show on the road, guys, for the first ever podcast. Of course, now that we've absolutely plugged the hell out of ECC, we'll now get into our first subject at hand. We're going to take a look at the results from the first week of league play. We had a lot of really interesting matches, a lot streamed as well. And we'll start here with the Champions Division. Our first match was Gedalians against Trifecta, and that was a 3-2. And that was actually a stream match, and I actually casted that earlier this week, and yeah, it was surprisingly close, I must say. I didn't expect to go to Game 5. But yeah, what do you guys think of that one?
yeah, I cast this as well, and it was a really great series, the Godalians game. Yeah, it was a really close series. It was just Godalians. They had the games, and Trifecta had the games. It was just after the game of Godalians, Trifecta really picked their stuff up together, and it was just the dominant performance of Trifecta in some games, and the other games it were just Godalians, and it were just 3 games of the Godalians they won. And I think, yeah, we expected Godalians would smash Trifecta, but that was not the case here. It was Trifecta who fought back really well, and yeah, I think we can expect much from them this season. Alright, so we got ECC Esports, Salt Shakers. What's up next?
Right.
We have
So next
Irrelevant
up,
Esports and Untouchables.
yeah, so that's the next match, and that one was streamed on Rattle's channel, I believe.
Yeah, it
I
was.
didn't get to catch much of the game, but I think that was a lot closer than people were expecting. Untouchables not really favoured in this season, but Untouchables, remember last season when they played Serenity Crimson, who were the heavy favourites. They brought them to Game 5 as well, and Untouchables are doing it again, taking down, well, almost taking down a very high-level team here. In this matchup, a quick look at the seedings, which I'll get up once again. It was the 4th seed against the 7th seed, so yeah, even though ILV were pretty heavily favoured in this one, still went the distance and they made for an exciting game.
Yeah, very true. It was a really close series. In the end, it went to a game 5, and in the end, it was Irrelevant Esports who got the win. If we have a look on the rosters, we have on the Irrelevant Esports side, Redos, Pichu, Dosrinho, Nabtrox, and what's it called? Cumulonimbus?
Just call him Nimbus. Nimbus is his name.
Nimbus. Well, of course, we know Nabtrox. He's a common name in the ECC community. And then I know
As are all
Pichu and
these
Redos
teams.
as well. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Rattles, Pichu, Dunster, and Nimbus were all in a team previously, so these 4 just have the chemistry already. Niptrox came in a bit later, and with a funny story of the Irrelevant Esports, this roster wasn't meant to be called Irrelevant Esports. I know I shouldn't be getting into this, but I don't really care. we'll make something out of it. We will. But yeah, they weren't meant to be the Irrelevant Esports roster to begin with. But we hosted a little tourney, and they happened to win all their games, so they basically got given the name after having it taken from them. So it does show that they have potential.
Yeah, if they're the best out of all the ILV rosters, and yeah, they deserve to rep the esports name, and they proved that here by getting themselves a win in the first week. But they gotta keep that up in the later weeks, because people will be expecting them to make playoffs later on this season, I reckon. So we'll see how they do with that. But we'll now move on to the last match that was played in Division 1 last week. It was Serenity Amethyst and Godallions Tempest, and again it was another Game 5. This was actually, I believe, the first seed versus 10th
Yes, it
seed
was.
matchup. And it went all the way to 5. Like, what?
Well, the problem is with the 10th seed is, regardless of them, we couldn't really use their MMR because of the fact that they got first in Season 4 Division 2. So they managed to auto-promote that is. So they obviously deserve to get to Division 1. And for the fact that they're keeping up with a 1641 MMR team just proves that anything in this division can happen. Anything in any division can happen, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a really close division here. If you look at all the teams of Division 1, and of course Godallions Tempest in 10th seed. Because they're 10th seeds, you would expect less from them, but they're really dominant side in this division. And as you can see, they just get 3-2'd in Game 5 by Serenity Amethyst, the first seed in Division 1. So everything can happen in this season, really.
Yeah, anything can happen indeed. Serenity Amethyst actually have a bit of history behind them. They're a returning team from last season. But I remembered, I think they were like week 4, they were like 4-0 up, and they were right at the top of the table. And then in their next 5 matches, they only managed to win 1, which is like biggest momentum shift I've ever seen in anything. Where like you just think what happened to them, but they're getting off on the right foot this season though, picking up a win even though it was really close. It's a good start for Serenity, and I do hope they can continue it because they are expected to be the best team in the division, but I think they got to do more to show it. They got to get some more consistent and convincing results, I think.
Indeed. Yeah, again, unfortunately, the final game for this division wasn't played, and as Faded stated, it's going to be played on the 29th of October, so by the time we're recording this, it's going to be played tomorrow, but the time you're seeing it, 3 days? Maybe?
Yeah, 2-3 days, I reckon.
Yeah, depending on our editing speed. But but yeah, we have 15 minutes still. Do we want to try and go through Division 2?
Yeah, we'll just rattle through it, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, Division 2.
Also,
Yeah, so let's go. So No Hope Sapphire, Radiant Esports, another game 5, and I think you could consider this an upset. I mean, I don't even know what the seedings were for Division 2,
I'm
but
going
it
to
seems
quickly
like, yeah,
check.
it's actually a 5 versus 6 again.
That was a very close game,
Yeah,
as
and
proven.
yeah, and it was proven, but No Hope Sapphire coming out the victors here, and I believe No Hope Sapphire, that's Aztec's team, I believe, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Aztec's Hero and Stingray, and they're a pretty solid team coming into this season, I reckon. Whereas the opposite side of Radiant, I'm being blind here, there we go, so it's Kurze, Tom, and Charlie RLD. I'm not really familiar with those guys. Tom rings a bell from somewhere.
Tom
yeah,
Tom used to be
Yeah.
an old player here.
Yeah.
yeah, I can see from his titles in the Discord. So, yeah, but expect to be close again. But No Hope Sapphire clutching out with that one, and they'll definitely be happy with that one, I think.
Yeah, I've played with two of the Radiant players, Tom and Kersey. Well, they have the chemistry together. They've been playing for over 2 years, and they were expecting. I heard from them to be at least in a playoff spot. So losing in Game 5 doesn't really help them with that. But I think they can come stronger and maybe get a playoff spot. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going back to the fact that these guys have had chemistry. Obviously, we don't know much about Radiant. They are a new. No, sorry, we don't know much about No Hope. They are a new team coming in. And of course, the Radiant players have had time to play with each other. I have seen them play around in ranked. Managed to play against a few of them. Did look strong. Ashtax, Kiero, I know both play well together, and have played for a fair bit of time together. Stingray, I think, is new to this division. I know he played in the previous Nitrous Esports. I think he just might. I'm not sure when he came in to the No Hope Sapphire, but I'm not sure he's been playing with them that long. It's probably, although it didn't make much of a difference, seeing as they did get the 3-2. Obviously, there's something that's working for the Sapphire team that's just tipping them over the edge to the Radiant Esports, regardless of these lack of playtime, if you will.
Yeah. But now we'll move on to our next match. And actually, Dennis, you were playing in this match, weren't you? It was Unleashed with Spider, and you're up against Esports Legends, which I would have to say is probably the memeiest team in the
We need to at some point interview someone from Esports Legends.
Yeah, at some point.
Regardless,
need to win.
Regardless of how wrong the interview goes, we need to interview someone.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Dennis, I think you're the person to go here. Yeah, it was a 3-0 win, but yeah, how do you feel about that match? Even though Esports Legends is a bit of a, I don't know, unbalanced team, you could say, in terms of the skill level.
Very unbalanced.
Yeah, very unbalanced team. Of course, you have Havoc, Flake, and Weevil, and of course, we know that Havoc is like a 1600, 1700, 6050 player,
Yep.
and then Weevil is like a Diamond 3, Diamond 2. So that's really unbalanced there, but yeah, I was talking to the team. We really have to win this first match. You can't just lose this match against Esports Legends. We set everything up, and in the end, we won 3-0. So I'm really glad with that result. But yeah, I think it was deserved. But in the end, it went one game to overtime, and I think in the end we had two matches where it ended up in 3-2. So yeah, it could have been more dominant from our side, but I think we could be happy with the 3-0 lead, and we're now in the first place of Division 2.
Yeah, very good for you guys to get that one. So yeah, not much else to really say. Just big 3-0. We'll now move on to another match. We have DSEA Red, who promoted from last season's Division 2, which is now known as Division 3, up against Misfits. And of course, we are very familiar with DSEA. They've been here multiple seasons now, and they're continuing with the same roster once again. Was Misfits. Yeah, these players I'm not really familiar with. Not really heard of any of them, to be honest. But yeah, 3-1 for the SCA, continuing the momentum from last season.
This really concerns me as well, because looking at the standings, DSEA Red, because they promoted from Season 4 Division 3, they are bottom seed in Division 2. Misfits is top seed with the second highest MMR given, or that's presented, sorry, and DSEA Red 3-1 them. So I'm not sure we need to say this, but DSEA Red, please calm down. we'd like you to calm down.
Yeah,
But no, in all seriousness, they are a very strong team, and they have improved greatly since like the first time I've seen them.
yeah, it's not what I expected from this series. I really thought Misfits is gonna take this match from DSA Red, but yeah, they lost 3-1, and I think DSA Red really had done a good job beating Misfits here, the top seed of the league. So we'll see where Misfits and where DSA ends. Very interesting matchup, or very interesting match as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting end to that matchup. Yeah, DSA just keeping it going. They've been looking on fire since like the start of last season, I think, continuing it on. But then we'll get into the last match that was played this week for Division 2, which was Ascension Pyrrhos. I am probably pronouncing that completely wrong. Up against Clap Pink, and I streamed this on my own channel and casted it. And,
So you'll have the best for us here.
So yeah, it was I was expecting Ascension to win this despite them not having the more favourable seed. But yeah, Ascension doing really well against the full Spanish team. Clark just looked like super hesitant all the time in that match. And Ascension capitalized upon it very well. Clark started doing some demo plays, which really disrupted Ascension's play and got them that game. But Ascension has looked really solid from start to finish.
Oh yeah, indeed. I mean, Ascension Pyrrhos, I know that they have been a team for a good few months. And although that seems like a long time, you have to, like, in terms of playing Rocket League, that isn't that long playing together. I'm trying to just grab the team sheet real quick. Pyrrhos, Hype and Ferox, I know they've been playing together for a while. And I know they can definitely do damage when they're together. And Traxi is someone new that I haven't seen much from. But apparently he's a good player on offense and in the air.
Oh yeah, he was. He was doing bits for Ascension in that match in particular. Was definitely a really strong asset in their offensive end, but of course Hype and Ferric still putting up goals themselves, everyone getting involved, and it was good to see from them. It was a full team effort and paid off in the end, and good grant them that win, which they totally deserve.
Yeah, really interesting to see where these both teams will end. I mean, both just played well. I think that Pink could have made more out of this match, but I think Ascension was the deserved winner. They're in second place now, so Ascension Pyrrhos, really great performance by them, and I think we can see much from them this season, and maybe they can guarantee themselves a playoff match at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, this is, again, the highlight video that Liony has made for us and for you all to watch. We will be just talking over it. If you do want to see it, it will be on YouTube. And I think we will have it in the description. Or somewhere linked to this.
The start already looks really awesome. Great work by him.
Yeah, you got the start. I mean, I'm a bit behind for some reason. I was dodging on it, but
that's not
very
a problem.
well edited.
The editing is great. I mean, the goals that were scored especially just top it off.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look at that.
the one from Kiev, just passing it down to Bubbles. You can see a lot of these, I'm pretty sure most of these are passing plays, or a good portion of them are passing plays, or team plays. So you can definitely see, especially with the higher levels, that there is a lot in store.
That's a good video by Cherry.
Cherry to redirect. I think I watched that one live and it was absolutely insane.
Top bins from you, Gem.
A great save from Pew.
Druben with the goal for his side. Angles. And also casted games in here. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of these people being on ECC for the first time. For example, not Tobias, he's been here for a while. Pichu again here. Damn it, whenever I'm trying to making a point, it's just not going to work. But yeah, a lot of the players... Oh no. Let's listen to this.
I think it was Caster's course. Might just stop behind.
Back, but they're gonna have to be a lot of effort to do so. And as I say, that Psycho top corner. What more could you want?
It was the Caster's course.
Oh, there's the second clip.
It's again Winter Rain overcommitting a bit too hard. It could be it.
Again,
Actually, it could be in this time. Again, Winter Rain, no one back there for the defense. If Phoenix will equalise.
Faded really being able to, Faded being able to foresee the future. It's absolutely great.
Pushed a bit too far, and the KursedWolf players to do capitalise off it. All they need to do is just bang the ball on target from their end, and it's going to be it.
So they were 2-0 down and they brought it back to 3-2. Damn, Sakura blew. Ooh.
Oh god.
Yeah, all three just in the goal there.
Yeah. Actually, I have the mute button ready right now.
Nice little camera work as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. It
Yeah,
just
it's
showed how
fun.
bad it was. Oh god, that's a bit loud.
Yep.
But yeah, like people like Kieran and Traxy, people we haven't seen before in the ECC, definitely showing off just what they have and just what we want to see.
Oh yeah, we do love the highlight players like coming up for all these players, and you know it's how we make these videos possible, really.
Yeah,
That's
gang,
well
this is
done.
every week of all the games. This is really great work. All the effort that goes into a video like this. Just if you see how many highlights there are in a week, actually, there's so many great goals, many great saves.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you
Yeah,
can't
you're-
discredit any of these players. Like, again, talking about the scorelines, like the No Hope game with Sapphire, I believe it was, and them just clutching it. You can see how they clutched it with that goal previously from Ashtax that just, he managed to place just out of reach.
So second,
Yeah, just what you like to see at the end.
some Moros, I think.
That might be it. I believe it's so. But alright,
It's a black screen.
what were your guys' opinions?
I must say, yeah, very well edited. Honestly, probably one of the works we're getting up from ECC. You know, production quality is getting better and better every season, and with these kind of highlight videos, just adds to it. We get to see the best from the best goals and plays from all the matches. You know, a lot of these games don't get streamed. Many people don't get to see them, but you know, thankfully we get to see the skill of all these players across all divisions, all in one place, and the fact we get this every week, something to look forward to. Getting these highlights, and yeah, just absolutely amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, really great work by the editor, by Lionel. I think that he's had a great job making this. Great editing as well. I think it's really good for the league that we can also see other matches highlights, and yeah, I think just that he does this every week. It's just really great for the league itself as well. It motivates more people, more teams in the future to play the matches, to sign up for ECC, and I think it's overall a great addition to this league season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you going back to what you said, just having players getting to show what they can do, even if you're not someone that pulls something off very often, but you get the one clip, having it in a highlight video and being hyped like that is great, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, it does. I myself am not a player. I don't like pull off all the flashy plays often, but it feels good when you hit that, you know, one really nice clip and then it gets put into a video like that, and you know, it's well edited, and you know, really adds to the hype of the season. Really, to have all that all in one place. So yeah, it's good that we have this kind of content on ECC now. We only really had highlight videos at the end of the season, the past few seasons, but this time around every single week, so it's always something to look forward to.
Yeah, indeed. Do we want to take it on to the last two divisions, Division 3 and
Yes,
Division
I think
4?
Yes.
So the first match with Division 3, that was Darklight Esports and No Hope Crimson. I think that was a streamed game. I don't remember it too well, but that one ended in a 3-1 again. And as for Darklight, they were the 3rd seeds, whereas No Hope were the 8th seeds. So pretty big difference there. But Darklight sort of put up a great performance, remember. And yeah, No Hope didn't have much to respond to it. They did pick up a bit later in the series, I think, but yeah, still Darklight proving them the stronger side in that one.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are very new to the season. I haven't seen much from any of the players. I do know Joshi, the captain of Darklight Esports, but I haven't seen much from him. So the only thing I have to base this off is the league table, and Darklight Esports being third and No Hope Crimson being eighth. It does kind of show how that game should have panned out, but you'll get into the later games and you'll realize that some of them just can be flipped on their head so easily.
Yeah, very true. I think with just those two new teams, I think it's a great addition to Division 3 here. But yeah, we don't know much about these teams. We've seen Darklight Esports winning the game 3-1. Yeah, I think we can expect a lot from these teams. But for that, it looks like this Darklight is the better side here against Nope Crimson. But maybe we can see Nope Crimson winning the next game. But we're gonna see that next week.
Definitely.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, but now moving on to more familiar faces. We do have the Ascension Derby that happened last week. It was the main Ascension team, Ascension the Chronos side, and ended up in the main Ascension team winning in the 3-0 sweep. And it was fairly dominant for them from start to finish. You know, they just looked a lot more consistent than the Chronos side. Chronos didn't really. They showed some sparks of brilliance in that match, but yeah, it's to be expected in my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah, if you look at the rosters, I think that the roster Ascension made the opposite, the better side than Ascension Chronos. Tuto, Cherry, and Cool with Jazz as sub. I think that's a really great roster here in Division 3. Definitely they definitely have a chance to get into playoffs, maybe even win the league. But yeah, Ascension Chronos, I think they were the winners of last season's Division 3, so that's the Division 4 this season. But I think they're not going to make playoffs this season. And also they just 3-0 by Ascension.
They do have a very, very, very tough Division 3 to Ascension Chronos. They did get first in Season 4, Division 4, like you stated, which made them auto-promote. But Ascension being the side that they are now, with the amount that they've improved, of being GCs, all 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ascension Chronos are 10th seed, it's going to be very tough to see how well they're going to be able to perform against a lot of these teams. I know it will be close, as I did have a scrim against Chronos myself, but that itself as a game was a 3-1. But again, that's nothing compared to a league match where there's a lot more pressure and tension.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Force versus Tendency not going the way Chronos would have maybe hoped, but we all kind of saw the inevitability in that result. So hopefully Chronos better not luck next time. They can hope to climb out of the relegation spots and maybe keep themselves in Division 3 at least. But now on to our next game, which was Royals up against Primal Esports, and this appears to be a bit of an upset here. Royals the 7th seed and Primal the 4th seed, and yeah, as the underdogs, they came out with a very convincing win. So what do you guys think of that? I mean, probably one of the first big upsets I think we've seen so far.
Well, I haven't really heard a lot of these teams, but if you look at the results of these of the games, it were all 1-goal deciders, and I think maybe there were 1, 2, maybe even 3 overtimes in it. So it's a really close series, even though it was a 3-0 for Royals. But I think that it was a really close series with 1-goal difference. So yeah. They're pretty close to each other, and I think that maybe they could get 5th, maybe 4th even. I think they could have the battle of the 4th place, of the last playoff spot. But really close series here between those two teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we haven't seen much of these teams either, as they are new. We have got a lot of new teams into the ECC. We do have a cap of 50, and I'd like to just point out how many reserve teams we managed to get. I think the minimum for our Division 3 was 3, but in the rest of them, mainly in Champs Div and Div 1, there's like 40 teams split between the two.
Yeah.
It just shows how many teams want to get into the ECC. Unfortunately, if you're not fast enough, you can't make it in, which is a pain, but you just hate to see it. But yeah, talking of Royals and Primal Esports, that game I didn't get to see much of. I don't know much of the teams or the players. I do, however, know Tether fairly well, and I know that he's capable of a lot. but unfortunately, as a team, they weren't able to pull it off, and it did again result in a 3-0. Moving on to a painful game for me to talk about.
Yeah, here we
Yikes.
go.
One I didn't partake in, which is slightly unfortunate. I'm not sure if I'd have made a difference. I can't say I could have, but Snakebite versus Gedalian Celeritas. I know last season, again, this is a completely different roster, or not completely different, but a different roster nonetheless to what was last season. The Snakebite roster that involved myself last season 3-0'd Celeritas, or 3-2'd them. And this season it's gone the other way around, and Celeritas have 3-1 Snakebite. I know that the boys were playing well throughout their ranked matches, but of course they just couldn't pick up the pace when it came to playing against Celeritas. I think it was just a culture shock, if you will.
Yeah, I think you put it right there. There's a bit of a it was again that would be considered an upset considering the previous results from last season too. But yeah, unfortunately, your boys couldn't close it out in this one. But I do think they could. Certainly you guys are gonna bounce back in the later weeks. I mean, you've got second seed for a reason, after all.
Second seed as third in Season 4 Division 3, and if I'm not mistaken, we'd have second seed anyway.
Yeah.
Because when we were doing the seeding, I don't know if Dennis was there also. You were. Yeah, you were. When we were doing the seeding that night, I think Snakebite had around 1450 as a average seed, as we all had very close we were all very close in MMR, and the third seed is 1441. So we would be still where we are in the seeding.
Yeah, Snakebite, of course. I think they really have a chance to get into maybe the league winners with. They're gonna have to battle with Ascension for the first place, because I think those two teams are really. If you look at the roster, I think they can really get that Division 3 first place. So that's also what I'm predicting, the old Ascension Snakebite clash. I think that's going to be it in the finals.
That is the final week due to the seeding. So just to top it off, last season as well, it was our first game of Gedalian Celeritas was week 1, as it was this season, and our last game is Ascension, as it was last season.
Wow.
So
pure coincidence.
I believe that Snakebite. I'm not saying that we're gonna win, but we have a good chance to win against Ascension. I'm putting it there. All right, you can all have a go at me. I don't care. Sorry, Jez. But yeah, I think when it comes down to the final weeks, we'll just see how important some of these last games are.
Yeah, definitely.
And we will see how crucial the games can be at the end of this season. There's always really crucial games. But now on to our final match of Division 3 this week. It was Glamo Delta against Hive Central. Again, two teams we're not so familiar with, but it was Glamo Delta with that big 3-0 sweep. And of course, these two teams are close in the seedings and MMR, but still Glamo putting on a dominant performance.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking what the results were of those games, but
3-0 Delta.
Yeah, it was it was a dominant performance by Delta. I think that we can expect much from them in this division this season. I don't know their rosters. Maybe you guys know some of their players.
I unfortunately have no idea of any of them, so I'm not one to judge.
Yeah, I'm having a really quick look, but I do not recognize any of the players on either of those teams. So yeah, not really much we can say, but yeah, I would maybe expect to be closer, but just didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, oh wait, I see JR here, Jordan, and Big Gilmax. They were the former, what was it?
Redwater something.
I think it was a Redwater team.
Yeah, looking at Gilmax, I'm pretty sure he was Redwater.
Yeah, I know them, and they're not bad players, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, it's surprised me they got 3-0 here, but I think they can bounce back. Hive Central, I think they have a good roster. They're good enough, but from the Glamo Delta, yeah, good, well played by them, good result for them. So yeah, much to see from these both teams in the season.
Indeed.
For sure. So now we'll hop on down to the lowest division, Division 4, and starting this one off is a very expected result based on the seeding. It was ILV Orange and DSA Orange facing off, and it was ILV Orange with a big 3-0. And to be honest, considering there's a nearly 250 MMR gap between those teams, it was absolutely no surprise for that matchup.
Yeah, very true. DSA Orange against Irrelevant Esports. Yeah, it was expected results. Irrelevant Esports Orange, I think they became second place for last season in Division 4, where at least I know that Irrelevant Esports, one of those teams went second place.
Irrelevant Esports Orange is a new roster.
New roster.
It
Yeah,
was
okay.
the Saffron team that came second, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, expected result, as you said. I don't know any of these players from Irrelevant Esports Orange. Maybe I know from one.
Thankfully, I am a leader of, someone that works inside ILV, so I get to speak to all the players myself. Bubbles, the captain, or as I can't remember what Doubles is what I used to call him. He happened to play on the Glacier prospect roster in the IEL.
Alright.
Along with a few others, so I've definitely seen how well he can play, and he's definitely proven it in that match in the week. I can't remember who else played that day. I believe it was Kiev and Sursbach. I'm not sure how I'm going to pronounce that, but yeah, I guess that's there. We'll deal with it. Time will come. We'll get bullied for it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's alright. But anyway, moving on to our next match now, NG Saffron and ILV Crimson. That was actually a forfeit win, so NG
Very
Saffron. We'll not talk about that one. Moving on, we have Ascension Pyrrhos against FC Net Neat. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, it's a Dutch team.
It's Dutch,
Net Neat.
so-
Yeah.
We assume so.
You actually pronounce it pretty good as a UK.
well, literally, like, I tried to check how it was pronounced before I even, beforehand, and I think that's probably how it's pronounced, hopefully. But yeah, Ascension Helios 3-0 win. If I have a quick look at the seedings, it was actually, another 5 versus 6 seed. Ascension Helios, they're a returning team, they were 4th in last season, and FC Net Neat, they're a new team coming into this season. But yeah, Helios
Gonna
coming
stop
out with a really strong result.
Yeah, very true. I think Ascension Helios, they lost I don't know all the games, but most of the games it became last place. The only teams who forfeited or got disbanded last season, ended up under them. So that's why they're 4th. There were only 6 teams in Division 4 last season. But very great result from Ascension Helios. Early 3-0 win, early sweep. Of course, I know the players a bit. And yeah, it's a great squad overall. It's really like the roster. Druben, Bree, Pep, Prospect, and my in real life friend Cos. Really good to see them playing together.
Yeah, I mean, you have to also point out the fact that the Ascension Helios roster managed to get into the Week 1 highlights. So they clearly did something very good in this game to allow them to get the 3-0 win. I believe it was Druben that got one of the goals in the highlights.
Yep, Druben.
Props
Yep.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
there's not much else needing to be said about that 3-0 win.
Yeah, very solid.
The next 2 games that we're about to present to you are going to be quite surprisingly close, and one would be an upset. We'll start with the first game being X2 Esports against Breakdown Krypton. X2 Esports being 2nd seed, and meaning Breakdown Krypton is 9th. I don't know much about these teams, but X2 Esports scraping a 3-2 win.
Yeah, it's a really close result. Let's see the rosters. I think we got on X2 side.
Okay, for everyone to know why I'm laughing. Sorry. The X2 roster consists of someone named Captain Gigio or Gigio.
Oh,
Oh wait, I'm just thinking about that.
oh god!
The second-
Oh, no.
The second name is completely ineligible. I believe this is either Hungarian or Bulgarian or Russian.
I can throw in a translator real quick.
Yeah, I can read Russian. Wait,
Yeah.
Balsavik, it's called. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's detected as Russian, so
Yeah, it's
Alright,
Russian.
So yeah, and
That's
the third being Madri, a former member of Irrelevant Esports Orange.
Ah, okay.
I believe he played in their first game. Could be.
Yeah,
wrong.
but I think a transfer did happen with that. So yeah, I remember that. So yeah, and as for the other side, Breakdown Krypton, yeah, it's
I'm
Mikas
very surprised.
Mini G underscore PT. That's a full Portuguese roster. Um, so yeah, I'm surprised by how close that was, though. I didn't think that would go to a fifth game, but Breakdown definitely did something really good if they were to bring X2 to that fifth game. But yeah, looking pretty promising for them, even though they did take the L this time. Yeah, pretty decent from them.
Yep.
Final game for the Division 4. What were you going to say, Dennis?
No, I just want to say I think we're ready to move on to the next game.
Oh, yeah. Well, indeed we are, because we both had this exact same idea.
Yeah.
RC Pluto versus... Sorry, Rocket Core Pluto is what I'll refer to them as, just so people understand. Against Honk Esports.
I gotta say that's probably like the best name I've ever heard.
Honk.
Like,
Honk.
It does have a goose as a
Yeah.
as its logo.
I gotta say that's
I'm
like
pulling
one of
up-
the best names I have seen.
I'm pulling up the production graphics. I want to try and get this on the video itself.
Yeah,
Phew.
but well,
Future Wolf, remember to do that. Thank you.
yeah. But whilst you're doing that, we'll have a quick breakdown of the rosters. Honk Esports, of course, that's Timbo 2K. I recognise him. I think he was a coach for one of the Zypher teams or something. And then Just CJ, recognise him. Andreidzu, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And then AC. And on the side of Rocket Core Pluto, we have Blitz League, Jawas, and Blitz Assassin, and Bimbo as a sub. So a full starting lineup of Belgian players in that one. So yeah, Blitz League actually one of the admins of Rocket Core as well. So yeah, again another game 5, and this time it's I guess an upset. In fact, it would be a pretty substantial upset here. It was Honk Esports as 3rd seed against Rocket Core as the 8th. So yeah, definitely Rocket Core coming out clutch here to get that big upset win here, considering they were pretty big underdogs coming into that one.
Yeah, the MMR difference is there's a MMR difference between those two teams, and I think that Honk Esports just really wanted to win this game and maybe even deserved. I haven't watched the game, but it's a good result from Rocket Core Pluto. I like the Rocket Core community itself, and I know Blitz League as well a bit. So I think that Rocket Core Pluto really did a good job being 8th seed to get the 3-2 win in the first game of the season.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I'm sorry for going back off topic, but looking at the Honk Esports logo,
Oh no.
I believe this we'll call it a duck because I can't bother to pronounce goose because I sound posh.
Yeah.
The swan believes to be, I think it's holding a pair of keys, and I'm very concerned. I can't
Oh
tell if
my.
it's for a car or for a house. It looks like house keys, but
That is very concerning. I don't know why, like,
I don't
a
know.
duck or goose or swan have that. I would imagine they have bread or something instead. But
It is a skis.
clearly not this one. Like,
Or at
this
least an air horn to like point out the
Yeah.
fact that it's honking. Alright, before this goes off on a tangent, we've gone through all the matches that have currently been played through this first week. We will save some of them that have been played today. For example, the Helios versus, I'm testing my knowledge.
NG, what's it called? Noble Gaming.
That one.
Seven.
Oh yeah, that one's played
Yeah.
today. Yeah, we will not spoil the result just yet because yeah,
I don't. Yeah, and it hasn't been updated on the spreadsheet either.
Yeah, so it's a week 2 match, so we'll talk
Yeah.
about that next week. But
Yeah,
yeah, just keep
definitely.
it a secret for those of you who didn't watch it. You can find the result easily anyway. But
But yeah, for
yeah.
the final standings of each division.
Yeah, if we look at that.
if I can get to them in time. For some reason,
Yeah.
I've gone too far forwards.
you can click one button to get to it on a tournament. But getting it up for all the divisions, and now it's looking, yeah, quite interesting. For Champs Div, it's looking a bit dead because there's been 2 postponed matches.
3 matches played overall.
Yeah, 3 matches played, and yeah, you see Winderman and Unlucky both tie for first with their 3-0 sweeps, and then Godalians they're in third, Trifecta fourth, and Zypher Green, the Sakura Blues, and tied 5th right there. And then of course Shazoo, Stay Fresh, Rebushes, and Evicted yet to play their games.
How do you think some of those are going to go? I know they're week 1 and they haven't been played yet, but I think it's only fair that we talk about how we think they're going to go.
Yeah, I think with Shazoo and Evicted, like Shazoo and Evicted, they played in the preseason cup, and Shazoo absolutely wiped the floor with them. Hopefully it'll be closer next time, because I think that was actually a best of 1, and I don't think a best of 1 is an at all good representation
No,
of a
not
team's
God, no.
capability.
No.
This time it's best of 5, so hopefully Evicted can show their true selves in this series.
Definitely.
So we'll see that. And as for Stay Fresh versus We Vicious, I
Which
expect
won't
that to be
happen.
it
I want
won't
to point
happen.
this out. No, I want to point this out. Remember, We Vicious are disbanding. This is your game.
Yes.
This is
this
Brexit
is
Bim
actually-
Bams.
Brexit Bim Bam.
How do you think your game is gonna go, Faded?
Yeah, good. Before I tell you that, for those of you that don't know, this will be announced for sure by the time this podcast goes out, but this is actually insider info we have because We Vicious decided to pull out of the league. We will not go into the reasons why because it's slightly controversial, so we say.
I will need to read that at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, at one point we'll have to maybe touch on that, but for now we'll just keep it on the radar. So now my team, Brexit Bim Bam, is going to be playing.
Ooh.
Now, I played against Stay Fresh once before with my old team. That was Filthy Peanut and Penny in the Esports Championship qualifiers and nearly reverse swept them.
Would you like to point out who your roster is this time around?
This time around, it's going to be me, Savi, and Moggy. So
Ooh.
that's going to be the roster with Hodge as a sub, in case we do need him, the big man's there. But I think it could still be a close match, I reckon. It's entirely winnable, I reckon, but it's going to be really tough because Stay Fresh, they are a really good team. So we'll have to see how that will go. But yeah, I'm feeling confident for it.
Yeah, if I look at your roster, of your roster, Faded, the Bim Bam Brexit Bim Bam was it?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
gonna, you made a meme, Dennis. What have you done?
Alright, that roster. Yeah, I think that's a really exciting roster. Margie, Savi, and Faded, those three combined into one roster. It's when I saw that for the first time, I was okay. They really can make a shot to win the champion division if they get into it, of course. But now they're into it. I think they are really, they're really making a chance to get into to get at first place because it are just three great players overall. I mean, I played with Savi. I've played against Marky. Never really played against or with Faded, but I watched his streams and I think that he's a great player as well in this roster. So I think that. I really think that Brexit Bim Bam is gonna take the series.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Brexit Bim Bam are gonna win, so Faded doesn't hurt me now. No, but
Gonna kick you out of the Discord right now.
Yeah,
yeah, but
boom, mate.
in all seriousness, I'm pretty from what I've seen of all three of those players on the Bim Bams, I think they'll be able to take it against Stay Fresh. I haven't seen much of that roster, so I wouldn't exactly know. And going back to the Shazoo versus Evicted, I'm just going to put it out that Evicted are going to win. Again, I don't know much about Shazoo, but again, that's just down to
Bold
not seeing
prediction.
much about them.
Yeah, Samurai and
bold.
Trace are pretty good players as well from the Evicted side. I think that Evicted is gonna take that series. So yeah, I'm voting for Evicted, and maybe they can get a mid-table spot into the champ division. I don't think they can make playoffs. Maybe 5th, maybe 4th, but we'll see how it turns out for them this season.
Indeed. Moving on to
Indeed.
Division 1 now. Ooh.
Yeah, Div 1. So, yeah, quick rundown. Only one match has not been played, but again, by the time you guys are seeing this podcast, it will have been played. That being 1, 2, 3 against the Cupcake Crew.
That's
But
tomorrow.
the other 4 matches have been played. So, sitting in first is Help Me Please. Clean record 1-0 and wins 3-0 in their first match. Then Serenity Amethyst, ILV, and Saviors all tied for second. And then we've got the Salt Shakers, Untouchables, Stallions Tempest tied for 5th. And then Polar Race down in 8th right now. And of course the other 2 undefined.
1,
So
2, 3, and Cupcake Crew. I think it's only fair that we predict this. I know it's tomorrow that the game is being played. I'm not sure if it's on stream. Would you like to?
I can
I-
check the match.
I thought it was, right?
I'll have a check on the schedule.
It will be on stream actually.
Yeah.
At 8 CET, which is 7 for us
Brits.
Brits. Yeah.
Us
That being
Brits.
Yeah.
2 in here. But yeah, I think that one could be a really close matchup. I'm not sure what the seeding's looking like. I will have a very quick look to maybe get a better
1, 2,
idea.
3 is second.
Okay, well, yeah, Cupcake Crew, like, I feel like they could maybe take a game or two off of this, but I expect 1, 2, 3 to win this. Maybe 3-1, maybe. I'll give it.
Seems fair.
Yeah, I've played with 2 players of Cupcake Crew. Of course, Celsius has been in Igneous last season.
Celsius
with
being a
him.
legend of the ECC.
Yeah, he's really a great player. He's a great person overall. Also a coach, and I think that he's just has a great personality. And then besides me, you got Shrip. I've played a lot with him as well. I think he's a great player, and I don't really know how they're fitting together. They've been in my team for a little bit in Unknown, but they left and they created Cupcake Crew. But I think that Cupcake Crew, they are good, but I think 1, 2, 3, I think they're just dominant, and I think they're not for nothing the second seed of this season. They've won, so I think they're gonna take this 3-2.
Seems fair. I am just gonna have to back Cupcake Crew. I don't know much about the 1, 2, 3. I have had a chance to play with Celsius myself, and Celsius being Celsius, he could probably win this on his own. No, but in all seriousness, Celsius and the rest of his team, I think are gonna take this. I think it's gonna be close. I want to say around a 3-2 win for Cupcake Crew. Seems fair.
That's right. That's different results. We all three, but we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out. That game, it's gonna be a great series.
For you guys, 3 days ago. For us, tomorrow.
Yeah.
But moving on to
Right.
Division 2, the current standings, Unknown Esports Spider is first, winning a 3-0 sweep. Ascension Pyrrhos, second alongside DSEA Red, both winning their match. No Hope Sapphire getting 4th, also getting a win. Radiant Esports getting 5th. Misfits, Clappink tying for 6th, and Esports Legends on 8th spot.
Yep, so well done, Dennis, for getting
Thank you.
first place. But, yeah, that's about as expected, I would say. Maybe the DSA Red match was a bit, I don't know, a bit of an upset there. But I think it's only fair we actually predict the one match that wasn't played, which
It
was
was.
ILV Black and No Hope Esports.
It was. But,
in
okay.
this-
I would
Yeah.
like to point out the ILV Esports Black and the No Hope Esports game had a bit of controversy. It will, in result of it, be replayed. The week of it being played is unknown. I have
Ah,
spoken
yeah.
to both captains. Neither can play this week. Week 1. I'm not sure if they're scheduling it for week 2. I haven't checked. But yeah, that will be coming in the upcoming 9 weeks, as it should be.
Yeah, it's a 3rd seed against the 8th seed going to be played. Relevant Esports Black in 3rd seed and No Hope Esports in 8th seed. So we're gonna look how that's gonna turn out.
How do you think it
Yeah.
will turn out, Dennis?
I think it's gonna go to Relevant Esports Black. I think they have just a dominant. They're just more dominant than No Hope Esports. And if you look at the roster, you have on No Hope, you got Tails, Ronzio, TC, and Sheet for Speed. And then on the Irrelevant Esports Black, let me look. Wait, where is that?
One Skunk,
Um,
VXTX, Serenity, and Sad.
Yeah, I heard that VXTX is a pretty good player as well. One Skunk, never really played with him, but I think he's pretty solid as well. I think they're a pretty solid team in this season. I think Irrelevant Esports Black is going to get No Hope Esports with 3-1, I think.
No Hope Esports, did you say it's 3-1?
No, Irrelevant Esports Black is
Ooh,
going 3-1.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Irrelevant Esports being my boys, and I did happen to get a glimpse of what happened in the No Hope Esports game against them. No Hope did put out their strongest roster, I'd say, and even with the goals being quite a large gap due to the individual that we won't mention, the games, regardless, I believe, would have been won without said person.
Okay. But yeah, I think I would agree with you. ILV should win that. I reckon 3-1 as well be a fair prediction for that. Yeah, I think there's not much more
There
needs to
isn't
be
much
said.
else to be said now.
Yeah, it's about Division 2 done. I think
Yeah.
it's good to go to Division 3 now. As of it is now, we got Ascension, Galema Delta, and Royals in first place, all 3-0'd. And then we got Dark Knight Esports and Celeritas in fourth and fifth place, both 3-1, and then Snakebite in sixth place. I think that Ascension made a good job just 3-0 here, just like the other two teams. I think Ascension really were dominant here against their Ascension Chronos. So yeah, I think that it's pretty fair, these results. Only the Snakebite is unlucky they lost against Celeritas, but maybe they can bounce back from that further on the season.
Yeah, I'd have to say yes to that. Lower down again, No Hope Crimson joining 6th with Snakebite, and Primal Esports, Hive Central, and Ascension Chronos all getting 8th place, tied for being 0-3'd. Very unfortunate for those teams. All of them have the potential to get themselves mid-table, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that they could get easily mid-table, or maybe not easy. It's gonna be hard to play against the other teams who just lost there. They really don't wanna relegate to Division 4, the lowest division of this league. But actually, all the teams have potential to just at least get in mid-table spot.
I think we should swiftly move on to Division 4, as we do have a nice little surprise for everyone that has stayed tuned so far for whatever reason. But yeah, seeing as every game was played in Division 3, there isn't much to predict. Moving on to Division 4, the same here. Okay, this is the exact same league standings. 3 in first being Irrelevant Esports Orange, Normal Gaming Saffron, and Ascension Helios all 3-0ing their opponents. X2 Esports and RC Pluto getting 4th, 3-2ing their opponents. Honk Esports Breakdown joint 6th, and FC that team FC Niet Relevant Esports Crimson and DSEA Orange all tied for 8th.
Yeah, and as I said, it was pretty good to see Ascension Helios finally. After last seasons, of course, it's not been really the seasons of Ascension Helios, and it's good to see them winning. Of course, Irrelevant Esports Orange, maybe the favorite of this league, 3-0 DSEA Orange. As expected, and then you got of course some pretty interesting ones like Rocket Corp Pluto against Honk Esports, and then Honk Esports lost 3-2 in there. Well, Honk Esports were the favorite there, so that was pretty interesting to see. But I think overall it's been pretty you could pretty much predict these results here.
Yeah, I think all of these results seem fair in terms of how they panned out, but as we get into the later weeks, it will definitely show which teams are more dominant in all of their divisions. We will take a little break, just to get this interview going.
Get hype in.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're the captain of Ascension Pyrrhos.
Yeah.
You've played against Clad Pink last week and you won it 3-1. So congratulations with that result. Some questions. How do you think individually? How did you play in that series?
I think I was a little bit quiet personally. I think we all were, to be honest. So they were whiffing a lot. It was a bit weird. But yeah, we definitely played well enough to beat them. And that's why we did win. So yeah, I think we did well in general, but we're definitely better than that.
I've seen that Pink was a bit hesitant sometimes in the play still. That's what you agree as well?
Yeah, their defense was really, really shaky as well. They kept whiffing a lot. It was just very hard for us to read.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
so
you can see with those, for example, first and second game, you managed to get 4-2 in the first game and 3-2 in the second. I'm not sure if the second game was an overtime.
No, it weren't. No.
So you just managed to pull off the final goal just in the last few seconds. or to hold off in the last few seconds, should I say. And the
Yeah.
game 4, I think they just broke down, even though they managed to win that third one, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah,
As
I
you
don't
can-
think there was a factor when they broke down. I think the third game we just went in there thinking it'd be easy. We didn't really try as hard as the
You
first
did-
two, and
yeah.
then just sat back a bit.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
didn't have any repercussions, and you just felt as
Yeah.
if it wasn't necessary, if you will.
Yeah, they definitely came out flying as well. They were like demos and stuff that surprised us, but we quickly adapted. And then fourth game we realised we need to stop it now and just get the win.
No, yeah. So of course in game 4, it was a 5-2 result for you, and yeah, of course you dominated in there. So very well done in there. How do you think in game 4 did you play different in instead of game 1, 2, and 3?
I think it was very similar to game 1 and 2. It was just very more like be aware of where they're gonna be with demos and stuff, and just because they were trying to like just come out and fly at us, so we just got to play faster than them, which we was doing well enough anyway. So we just carried that on.
Oh, yeah, all right. So yeah, you've played that series. What do you think was the MVP of both teams? So from your team and from the Clapping side.
What did you say? Sorry, I lagged.
How do you think? Who were your most valuable players on both your team and the opposition? Who'd you play the best?
Theirs was definitely Alex. He was just very like, fast and very clippy. Like he played ceiling shot and stuff, which was hard to read. And he kept running after us demoing, so yeah, that was hard. But on my team, it's kind of hard to choose between Traxy and Ferric, so I'd probably say both. They both just carry me, so it's good. I like it, so yeah, it's alright.
The most humble response you could give.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could think of one moment of that series, a highlight of the series, what do you think was just the best moment of that series?
Probably definitely just winning it in general, because like everyone was probably predicting us to lose. I noticed the table predictions were predicted low down. The seeding were 9th, they're 2nd, so they're obviously the favourites, and then just to 3-1 them and dominantly like beat them, it was just a good feeling in general.
Yeah, it's definitely is a good feeling. If you did, I know you said the entire thing as a whole was your highlight, but if you just chose one goal or one save or one play that may or may not have happened, maybe a passing play that you stitched together but was saved last second, or if you just banged it top corner and it went in,
Yeah.
what was your highlight play?
Well, Traxy and Ferrix's goals were really good. They're both in the montage for this week.
Yeah.
And I think in game 1 we made a really good passing play. All three of us linked up, but Traxy just couldn't get the final hit. And then I think it was game 3 we were losing like 4-2 maybe.
That's the
And
final result.
yeah, I had an open net and I missed.
Oh, no.
we had a little laugh about that, but yeah,
All in good
pretty
spirits.
funny. Yeah.
Of course, in Division 2 now, pretty hard division. Many great teams. The next game you gotta play is against Misfits. They're the top seed of the league. They lost their
Yeah.
first game, but anyways, they're still a good team. So how do you think will the series go against them?
Well, I'm pretty sure they lost to DSEA, didn't they? 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gave us like a huge confidence boost. We were already pretty confident anyway going into this season, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to take that.
Fair enough. Where do you think you're gonna place on the league standings in total? Would you say you've got the top priority of first, or?
I'd be happy with just playoffs, to be honest, but
So top
Uh,
3, 4,
four,
top
four, yeah. But I reckon we could maybe push for top 2. Yeah.
Funnily enough, Dennis is one of your oppositions.
Yeah.
How do you think you'll both go? How do you think he's gonna place himself? Sorry, Dennis.
I think Dennis will probably finish for first or second, yeah.
Vice versa, Dennis. Where do you think he's gonna position?
Well, I think they can make playoffs. Of course, it's a hard division with many great teams, but I think they can maybe get a 4th place, maybe even a 3rd place. But I think playoffs is their main goal for this season. I think
Yeah.
if they play solid, just like they did against Gladpink, I think they can they're able to get them to playoffs. Also, if they win the next game against Misfits, they have a good chance to get into that playoff spot.
That's a very fair point. Yeah. Although I do want to point this out, seeing as you're both in the call and you're both in the same division, how do you think your game against each other is going to go? I'm not missing this opportunity. I'm not missing this opportunity.
Well, I would say
Let
like
Dennis start off. Yeah.
I would say like our roster has been pretty good. I think we scrimped against Ascension Pyrrhos, Pyrrhos 2 or 3 times. We want to do it today, but it didn't work out. But I think it were like all the results went to our side, and I think it was a 3-0, maybe a 3-1. But I think we were the dominant side in those games. So I think that maybe a 3-1, a 3-2 be for us would be ideal, and I think that would I think that's gonna happen.
All right. Hype. Do you think the opposite, or would you agree?
I think really it just depends on like what day we're having. To be honest, like,
Oh,
on
of
our day, I
course,
reckon we
of
could probably
course.
beat anyone in our division. To be fair, but because
If
when we're
any-
popping off, we're really popping off.
If anyone on their day is playing a game, anyone against them's in trouble. Like, let's be honest. If
Yeah.
Dennis was having his
True.
day, you'd be done.
Yeah,
Yeah, on a good day you can just beat everyone, and on a bad day you just lose against the lowest seed. Everything can happen. So yeah, we see further in the season what's gonna happen.
yeah. I think it'll be one of like the later matches in the season as well. So we'll be like very ready for it and wanting to like get playoffs. So yeah, I think we could probably take it 3-2.
Yeah, it's actually in 2 weeks already. It's day
Week-
3 we're gonna face each other.
Yeah, week
Oh, is it?
3
Oh.
So it's not
Oh.
that far away, mate.
That's
We'll
pretty
still
cool.
we'll still win 3-2
yeah.
anyway. Don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's currently week 2 for those. By the time this is out, it will be on the verge of coming to week 3. But yeah, so that's gonna be a very interesting game. Hype, thank you for having a little talk with us.
Cheers for having me.
yeah, very much. Very much. Thank you for getting in there. Also, good luck for you next season or
Next
or
game.
this season. Next game.
Yeah.
Against Misfits, yeah.
Misfits, of course, they're not easy to beat, but if you could manage to beat them, it would be very good for you to get into playoffs to get that motivation.
Yeah.
I think that's all we had to say.
Yeah.
KursedWolf.
We did
So,
we did do an outro with Faded. Unfortunately, he isn't here. If anyone that is wondering why he hasn't talked for the past, God knows, like 30 minutes, he had to quickly head off, and it stayed like that. But thank you for being here, Hype.
Yeah, cheers for having me.
You've got anything else to say to us, to the viewers right now?
Whilst you've
Both
got
of you,
the-
good luck in ECC season.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's it really. I don't really know what else to say.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right. Well, we're gonna cut to the outro just because it'll make my life a lot easier, seeing as we've already done that.
Yeah.
And that'll be that. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This has been KursedWolf, Faded, and Dennis. Hopefully, you'll be able to see us next week as well. That's all. And goodbye.
Yep, see you guys.
Goodbye.